Iran attacks Israel, oil spikes, oil in yen spikes, the Bank of Japan panics to save the yen, reverse carry trade, global margin call, we are fucked. What is going on, guys? Lottery Socks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have a lot of stuff to cover before we start the week with the overall market, crypto, war escalation, etc., etc. And then we are going to cover earnings that is going to happen this week. So tune in until the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. I will be covering everything as fast, sweet, simple, to the point as possible. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It is free, it helps me out, and it's one click of a button. Let's get into it. Okay, so all of these factors and people pointing out that the market is extremely overbought. It's correlated to the 2020 crash. We're going to see a major correction. People are bringing up Tom Lee's point of another correction as well. Analysts are expecting this thing to drop. Jamie Dimon is a perma bear, saying the market is over. Everything is going to collapse. $210 million were liquidated from crypto in 60 minutes. And over the past 24 hours, 800 million has been liquidated from the cryptocurrency market. Are people panicking? Are people paper handing? But on top of that, the icing on the cake, the FICC gets involved in the panic. They just announced a new charge for increased volatility around certain Fed releases starting on Monday. The charge will be 10% of members' VAR accruing 2 days prior to and the day of specified events if conditions are met. Not only that, we saw a ton of banks end up collapsing during their earnings call on Friday. Central banks are facing the most synchronized rate cutting cycle since the Great Financial Crisis. 10 out of 11 major central banks are expected to cut rates in the second half of this year, the most in 16 years. In the last 40 years, there was only one occurrence when all 11 were reducing borrowing costs, and it was in 2008. What a coincidence, right? This time, the only exception is the Bank of Japan, which in March raised rates out of negative territory for the first time in 17 years. The entire world is expecting a global Fed pivot. What could possibly go wrong? We're not done there. Several major banks are preparing to absorb potential losses due to various economic factors. Canadian banks, Canadians' big six banks, TD Bank, RBC, BMO, Scotiabank, CIBC, and National Bank have all reported a dip in profits as they put more money aside to handle credit losses. This is in response to a projected economic downturn and a possible rise in credit loss due to more expensive costs of borrowing in Canada and the possibility of job losses. Hong Kong banks, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, has stated that all major banks in Hong Kong have sufficient financial resources to absorb losses ahead of their liabilities, having met their loss absorbing capacity (LAC) rules. And US banks are sitting on an estimated $650 billion in unrealized losses on their bond holdings due to a surge in interest rates over the past 18 months. Despite this, they have flexibility in making sure that their balance sheet bomb is diffused. Last but not least, the Royal Bank of Canada is now warning that Canada's AAA credit rating is now at risk. It is just raining down. Okay, aside from banks collapsing, banks doing horrible, banks in extreme debt, the market potentially collapsing, the market being overbought, and escalations in war, we also need to talk about cryptocurrency because crypto and the market move in tandem. Bitcoin and crypto payments surge in Turkey due to rising inflation. Now, touching on Bitcoin's chart, what happened with Bitcoin? Real quick, I need to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Visual Sectors. We've worked with them in the past, but today's video is about their YouTube channel. Now keep watching because the whole team over at Visual Sectors consists of Wall Street veterans that had experience at BlackRock and BNB Paradox, etc., etc. The content that they put out on this YouTube channel makes it extremely easy, the call to action, and simply put, explaining the market in simple terms. I'll give you the most recent example, their Nvidia stock video. They ended up comparing what Microsoft looked like back in the 1990s to what Nvidia looks like now, and found that they're having the same exact move, pointing towards potential upside.
Far from being discouraged, Paul Allen and Bill Gates continue to develop several versions of Microsoft, using their previous shortcomings as improvement guidelines. Okay, I'm starting to see the similarities.
Now, if you would have played this, you would have made a decent amount of money. Visual Sector's YouTube channel is currently sitting at 1.29k subscribers. Get them up to 2,000. And I have insight on their next upload. That is going to be how to actually pick specific stocks while providing you a step-by-step guide. So thank you, Visual Sectors, for sponsoring today's video. Go sub to them. Let's get back to it. Bitcoin got a W. It tested a breakout. It failed not once, but twice, broke back down yesterday when everyone was panicking. I was purchasing, and it actually held this wedge. This flash down, this wick down, shaken paper hands out. We rebounded quickly, and now we are right back in Bitcoin's wedge. Nothing is invalidated. Nothing is validated in the sense that we are going to see a retracement. However, likely before a halving, we flag out and we flash down. That is usually what happens before a halving, and I would be watching 59,000 in that case. Just be ready for that. Dogecoin, however, did not hold up. Dogecoin held the ascending trend line right here, the very bottom level of support, which if I were to draw a line, you could see that right here. However, it was flagging out and then broke out of the wedge to the downside, which is not a good thing to see. But what did I do? I purchased more Bitcoin. If you haven't seen my crypto update video I posted Friday, make sure to go watch that. Now, coming into the week, I want you to focus on some of the blockchain mining companies, such as Mara, because some of these are going to stick around and some of them aren't. Every single time Bitcoin has a halving, it gets more and more risky for these miners. And the ones that are on top, the ones that have, clear debt, the ones that have the best balance sheet, the ones that have the most sustainability are going to stick around. So keep an eye on Mara, LeanSpark, Riot, and let me know down below in the comments which one you think is going to handle the halving, which one is going to stick around and thrive over the years to come. I also would not consider any of these a long-term hold play. I would consider them a quick money-making opportunity. Again, nothing I say is financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. Now, before we get into the market, Tesla has just lowered its monthly subscription cost of FSD to just $99 a month, down from $199. Tesla lowering cuts again, and I want to show you the pattern that I think Tesla is in, because we are expecting a breakdown for Tesla coming into earnings, and earnings is happening very soon on April 23rd of 2024. Tesla chop traded right here, came up, tested, failed, and then made this third test consolidation, broke down, right? Tesla is doing the same thing. Came up, failed, came up, failed, came up. Now it's making a consolidation, looking for that breakdown, in my opinion. I would watch for Tesla to, first of all, break under 166.50. Second of all, break under this trend line right around 160.50, and then come into this zone finally that we've been waiting for, which is 155 to 147. I still think Tesla is going to break down. Again, if this is invalidated and Tesla breaks above 176 with a full candle close above, I will be closing out my puts for a loss. Now, Biden says he expects attack on Israel from Iran sooner than later. And he says his message to Iran is don't attack Israel. Now, his message doesn't really matter, but it does, right? It doesn't really matter in the sense that they already said, right? They already said, listen, America is involved in this war. America's going to be involved in this war. And now Biden's saying, listen, don't attack Israel. Well, what's the threat there, right? If they are already involving American war, Biden's basically calling their bluff. Okay, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully nothing escalates. Gold is reacting as if nothing is going to escalate. At first, it reacted in the sense of panic, and then it was sort of buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal. In reverse, gold is getting bought back up, showing, maybe nothing will escalate. Also, the market, the overall market, down 3.17% from its all-time high, getting a slight correction. This is what you call a slight correction. If the SPY breaks this level at 510.50, you're going to see nice little dips to around 503.75 for the first dip, second dip to around 497.50, and those are the levels that we're watching right now if the SPY continues to dip. That is going to bring the SPY down 4.3% or 5.4%. Okay, so those are the levels we're watching. Overall, a 3% correction is already a smooth correction consolidation for the SPY to get another leg up. So as soon as good news comes out, guys, are you seeing this thing? What in the rabbit? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. You guys get what I'm saying here. Let me know your thoughts on the overall market coming into the week. And coming into the week, these are the earnings that are happening, some crucial earnings. We have a bunch of banks reporting on Monday before the open. Goldman Sachs, Charles Schwab, M&T Bank, so on and so forth. Then you have First Bank and more closing. Then Tuesday, Bank of America, Interactive Brokers, Morgan Stanley, PNC, the list goes on and on. You also have other ones such as TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor, Netflix, and a ton of other major earnings happening this week. Hopefully you enjoyed the weekend. Let's get ready to make some money this week. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.